Let's stay in the city because City Power says their teams are currently on site of an underground fire along the M1 highway near Braamfontein to assess if repair work can finally begin. The cause of the blaze yesterday has yet to be identified, but it also caused major outages, power outages in the area. Attempted cable theft and vandalism of underground infrastructure has been cited as a possible cause of actually what happened. Earlier on, we were able to get in touch with Johannesburg Emergency Services, who are already on site from the early hours of this morning. We're told that much of that main artillery connecting so many communities has finally been opened to traffic at the very least, allowing motorists, of course, to get to where they need to. But obvious questions that need to be raised is around the structural integrity of the bridge itself. Can we afford for it to continue in operation, given just how frequently it's used and the load pressure, if you like, it takes on an hourly, if not on a daily basis? Those, I imagine, are top of mind for many motorists who are continuing to use that road even now as we speak. Again, as I mentioned there, vandalism apparently part of the problem around what exactly happened there, but there isn't really any kind of specific explanation around who might have been behind that vandalism and to what end. Dludla is part of our team who's at the scene for us, has been watching developments since early this morning, and he joins us now live once again. And Calvin, so many questions still around what exactly happened and how long some of those residents there will remain without power.
Good morning to you, Ayanda Nyati, and good morning to the viewer at home. We're still here in Braamfontein. We are underneath a bridge on M1 South. I'm not alone here. I'm with the I'm with the Sergeant Taylor, the security manager at City Power. He's going to tell us more about what happened here yesterday and what are they doing in terms of making sure that the security here is tight. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you very much for your time. What happened here? I see there are so many security officials. Some of them are even carrying firearms. What happened?
Good morning, South Africans. What had actually happened immediately after the fire, we needed to conduct our preliminary security investigation. So we also then decided to come underneath the M1 double-decker, which is located at what we call the Car Street kiosk. What is then happening is that this is one hotspot. You will recall sometimes in 2022, we lost 2 security officers who were shot point blank at this particular area. So we did visit the area, and we realized then that this is actually the hype of activity where we think the cable that is stolen from the tunnels is taken to the informal settlements that is actually mushrooming around here. There is a lot of recycling of bottles, papers, and everything that is happening. What then happened last night is that after the tunnels were banned, we then reinforced our security personnel above the M1, which is the double-decker, but we also then reinforce our security people in this particular spot. Sometimes midnight, the security officers were then attacked by people. There were gunshots that were actually exchanged, and when we brought in a backup, we then understand that 600 kg of copper cable was ready to be taken. It was already cut, it was chopped, and it was ready to be taken. We are still checking how these people entered the tunnels, but we have actually seen with the fire there is a lot of other structures that have actually been collapsed, and these people might have then taken advantage of that to penetrate the tunnels.
So in terms of security, everything is fine now?
At this stage, everything is fine. We have reinforced our security people as we could see them around here, and we will also be talking to the law enforcement agencies during the course of today so that they are able to assist us. We need to bear in mind that this is a critical infrastructure, and if it goes down, there is a lot of critical services that will be affected in the city of Johannesburg.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Sergeant Taylor, the security manager at City Power. Our camera or our lens might not be clear because there is a smoke that is coming behind me. Now I'm going to talk to the spokesperson of City Power, Mr. Isaac Mangena. Mr. Isaac Mangena, thank you very much for your time. We are here now underneath this bridge. We saw what happened. Tell us more about your assessments that you did and your preliminary findings.
So we are currently here to conduct those assessments, and we are even under this bridge so that we can do those assessments to see whether we are able to enter the tunnels, but also to see the extent of the damage of the fire. We can see that we had basically thought it was about 500 meters that was affected, but as you can see, it shows that it was actually coming from up, going down. We were wondering whether there is more that has been damaged underground, these tunnels from the double-decker highway. But also in terms of where there was an incident of fire yesterday, it's not easy for us to get inside there. We're waiting for EMS to basically give us the clearance to be able to enter and to do assessment of the damage and to start with the work of the repair. So as I'm talking to you now, the area is still very much hot. The temperatures are still very high, and it's dangerous for our teams to can be able to enter in there and start doing their work. So we're not doing anything now at the site of the fire, but we are going around just to assess the extent and how long the cable that we may need to do the replacement or to do the repairs, but also to try and see if we can find any alternatives where we can connect the customer so that we can, if possible, be able to cut down the time that it may take to restore electricity.
My colleague Kina will show the viewers. They're up there. There is a slab that has been removed there, and I can see there's a cable that is there. Is that part of the cable that was stolen?
Yeah, so basically, as you can see up there, that is one of the entry, what we suspect is an entry and exit points of the criminals that basically managed to enter that tunnel. As you can see, our security is basically further down, and that is the area where we were last night. Here we are under that bridge, but yesterday we were above, on top, where that cable is basically running. Yes, that is part of the cable that was damaged. That is part of the 88 kV and the 11 kV cables, our cables that were basically damaged in that tunnel. And we don't know what is happening inside there. We don't know whether there are any people that may have been trapped in there who were part of the people that were stealing. At this moment, we are not sure, but we will basically be able to access and see what is happening immediately after we have been given the go-ahead.
I hear they were exchanging fire with the criminals, your security officers yesterday. What happened? Can you elaborate more on that and tell us how did you recover any cables?
Yeah, so we had a situation of the exchange of fire. So as you can imagine, if we did not put security around yesterday when we left, it means that the criminals were going to come back and they were going to basically probably start continue with their work and ensure that they pull that cable out there. It's a copper cable, a pure copper cable, and they were going to basically take it away. So we left the security to make sure that they patrol this area, but also to make sure that they guard the open spaces that EMS was trying to access the fire, because of that is where the cable is exposed. But yesterday they managed, when they were busy doing the patrols, they basically traced this area where we are currently, where criminals tried to basically steal the cable. In fact, they stole it. They managed to even cut it from this side. So they were pulling it while we were at the top. They were pulling it from the ground and basically cutting it. We managed to recover about 600 kg of that copper cable, and we took it to City Power last night after a heavy exchange of fire with our security. No one was injured, fortunately, but what is worrying us is that yesterday where we were, it was a crime scene, but we did not see any SAPS vehicles that were basically patrolling, or even after when the fire was put out, to basically try to secure the area, or maybe to assist us to clear this kind of area like where we are now, where we see informal settlements, which is a worrying thing. And maybe even that exchange of fire would not have happened as it were. But this is the situation, this is the point that we are making, that we want to take to the police so that we can understand exactly their role in terms of assisting us to secure the essential infrastructure, which is really the backbone of the economic activity in the city of Johannesburg.
Yeah, so my question was that did you manage to open a case, a theft case, to the South African Police Service, and you are telling me that they are not cooperating?
No, I'm not saying they're not cooperating. Our head of security is in touch with the police so that the case can be opened. But I'm just trying to say that yesterday, where we were was a crime scene. It was an area where there was a possible cable theft. It was an area where there was fire that was started when that theft was happening. The expectation is that the police will be in the vicinity and be able to start doing their work and maybe even start raiding areas like this to see if they can't find those cables. So our security are the ones that came and managed to raid this area and managed to find those cables. In terms of the case that has been opened, we will follow up with the head of our security to see if there is any appetite to take up that case and be able to investigate so that we can basically get down to this. It is really frustrating, I must say, because the president set up what we call essential infrastructure task team that is supposed to basically ensure that they are visible in these instances and they are basically able to protect the infrastructure where it's running. But we find ourselves spending more money on security than on electricity infrastructure that we are supposed to basically, which is our competence in terms of ensuring that we keep the lights on. That is where the worry is, and that's why our CEO, Ms. Chifularo Mashava, is writing to the National Police Commissioner and the Provincial Commissioner today to express that issue and to request for support in our fight against cable theft and vandalism.
When we drove in here, we saw that the lights are off. There's no electricity around Braamfontein as a result of what happened yesterday. How long maybe can it take for electricity to be back?
We are not sure currently, and like I said, everything that we are going to do, including when electricity will be back, is hinged upon us accessing the area, making sure that we know the amount of work that was needed, the amount of damage that was caused, amount of work that we need to put in, and also whether the structure is still safe for our teams to basically work there. So when that has been cleared, that's when we'll be able to advise the community, the residents whose lights are off. So it's not going to be today, obviously. It's probably not even going to be tomorrow, but we will basically keep them updated when we are able to assess and be able to give them the perfect time to say when exactly power will be back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mangena, for your time.
Thank you for having us.
It was Mr. Isaac Mangena from City Power. He was just telling us that the power is not yet back here because of what happened yesterday. He said that they would be happy if the South African Police Service can cooperate and assist them on this. But for now, back to you in studio, Ayanda.
All right, Calvin Dludla, thanks very much indeed. An info-packed crossing there, quite frankly, with a lot of information around what's taken place. Of course, City Power saying that they hope that the SAPS would be at the scene, but it seems they haven't gone as far as to say that they are not cooperating with them. We're watching that story very closely and many others here on the SABC. We'll be right back.